Good afternoon, everyone. Grabe, ang dami nating tao today. We're very thankful that you guys are interested in our activities here in the UP Manila LRC. So today we are going to do the upscaling workshop on using Mendeley and Zotero. The objectives of our activity would be to enable you to collect, organize, and cite references using Mendeley and Zotero. So hopefully by the end of this workshop, alam nyo na po lahat kung paano ito gagawin. Some reminders lang po, if you guys can turn off your microphones during the workshop and then to use the Q&A button for the questions. So you will be finding the Q&A button at the bottom of your Zoom screen, or if you guys are using your mobile phones, dapat meron siyang option sa taas. So tapos, sa Q&A button also, kung may mga questions doon na relatable sa inyo, pwede niyo po siyang i-upvote para hindi niyo na kailangan mag-type ulit. So we can also see right away kung ano yung pinaka-important na question for everyone. So at some point later today, we will be deactivating or closing the chat so that sa Q&A na lang po kami mag-monitor ng questions ninyo. And then please participate and interact with the material. So prior to the start of this workshop, we asked all of you to download Mendeley and Zotero. So depending kung ano po yung operating system na inyong ginamit, tingnan niyo po kung ano yung pinaka-suitable sa inyo. But both of these referencing softwares will be presented to you so that you will know which one will suit you best. So without further ado, I will be introducing our speaker and resource person today, Mr. Aaron Noel Henato. He is a faculty of the Department of Physical Sciences and Mathematics here in UP Manila. He is also a graduate student of the MS Molecular Biology and Biotechnology program in UP Diliman. So as you can see, Sir has a lot of background in terms of research, so which is the reason why he is an expert in using these referencing softwares. So without further ado, let us all welcome Sir Aaron Henato.
So again, good afternoon, everyone. And I'm also overwhelmed by how many of you signed up for this upskilling workshop. And because of that, I also think that a lot of you value referencing our citations, referencing our material properly. Okay. And the goal of our reference software, such as your Mendeley and Zotero, is to make it much easier for you to do that. Okay. So I'll be introducing both of these, showing their pros and cons, as well as showing you how to use it seamlessly and for the most convenient researching and citing experience. Okay. Okay, but before that, I have a disclaimer. I am not endorsed nor paid by Mendeley or Zotero. Other reference management software are available. There's also EndNote, but ang mas accessible talaga sa atin would be Mendeley or Zotero because you can download it for free, while EndNote is, if I'm not mistaken, has a one-time payment or subscription service. Okay, so my views on the two software should be free from bias, or maybe biased, pero they are not being endorsed, nor I'm not being paid to teach you this by the companies. Okay, and also learning to cite properly, as well as yung learning the citation styles that are required of you for your research is still important despite there being reference management software. We still need to double check at most times yung mga i-cite natin and whether they've been cited properly by our software. But for the most part, because the software has been here for almost more than 5 years, they've already been more sophisticated. Even the minute details of your citation style guidelines are now being followed by your software. Okay, so with that disclaimer out of the side, let's see where we're at. If you are not familiar with reference management software, most of the time the flow of research would look like this. You will search in a database, probably Google Scholar or Semantic Scholar, yung gusto nyong mga references. In some way, you will want to retrieve the document either through by downloading if it's open access or accessing through your library na access. Then once you have the copy of your reference, you'll read it and then you will knowing na relevant siya sa purposes nyo, then you'll organize your references and then you format those references to the style of citation that you need to use. You'll start writing, and then at the end of a paragraph or a sentence, you will cite, and at the end of the entire document or as a footnote, you may add your references. For the most part, before referencing software or reference management software were present, you had to do all of this, diba? Um, you had to do all the organization. You had to write it by hand or type it by manually. You had to use whatever tools or mga web tools na available during the the time na nagkaroon na ng internet. But now we have reference management software. So where does that fit in sa ating research and writing flow? Okay? So, ang napapansin niyo dito, now that you're referencing or reference management software can now retrieve as well as organize the citations, as well as format those citations according to the reference styles that you want or that are required for like journal submission, as well as seamless citation doon sa ating mga word processors. Okay? So the reference management software can do all of this, no? And now, as the researcher or as our writer or yung mag-write ng mga papers, you can now focus on searching, reading, and then writing. Okay? And then of course, i-double check nyo na lang kung tama yung mga pinagsa-cite nyo. Okay? Ayan. So, I'll be showing two platforms. One would be Mendeley and the other is Zotero. For the time that I've been doing workshops on referencing management software, I've used Mendeley since undergrad, but I've recently switched to Zotero. To compare the two, both are actually available in almost all operating systems. Zotero also has a Mac app as well as Mendeley. So pwede rin siya sa Apple devices. For Linux as well, pwede rin din siya sa Windows devices. Okay? Yung difference naman nila would be that your Mendeley is actually a proprietary product. It's owned by Elsevier, while Zotero is open source. Okay? It's developed by a company that shares the code for Zotero. Okay? May advantages and disadvantages yung dalawa. Pero Zotero, in my opinion, has more advantages. No, you can edit output styles. You have many third-party plugins as opposed to Mendeley. I've tested this. You can actually search for books. They have a catalog of books for ISBN search. So you can just input the ISBN. Tapos lalabas na yung reference mo doon sa program ng Zotero. So far, the only one with Google Docs integration or yung pinaka-popular nating collaborative word processor is Zotero. So yung Zotero lang yung merong plugin so far. But the advantage Mendeley has is if you want to store a bunch of PDFs for reading, mas okay yung offer ng Mendeley with regards to storage space. It has 2 gigabytes of free cloud storage space as opposed to Zotero. But if you want to if you want Zotero or Mendeley to host the PDFs and have a larger size for the cloud storage, then mas mura yung offer ni Zotero. Okay, so yun lang yung mga main differences niya. You can choose either. Ang suggestion ko is if you have a lab group or a research group, ask them what they're using. Kasi maganda rin yung features such as groups where you can collaborate and share references with each other. No, if you're collaborating on or on one paper, pwedeng naka-factor in na dun lahat ng mga contributed journal articles or book references ng buong group ninyo. Okay? So, choose one, but if you are a whole group, stick to one. It's much more seamless that way. Okay. So, hopefully na-install niyo na yung dalawang apps or if you chose one or the other, which is yung desktop app, yung reference manager, or yung Zotero desktop app. There are two other things na I'd also like you to install if you can. If you will be using a browser to search for references, then you'd want to look for your web importer or Zotero connector. Okay, I think I can share sa chat yung link for the two. Okay. Ayan. Okay. So, for the web importer and Zotero connector, um, you don't need to look for a specific na platform. Depending on the browser that you are using right now, if you click the link, it will go um, to the plugin for that specific browser that you're using. Okay? Ang maganda dyan is if you are on a page, no, where you are accessing a certain reference, in the click of a button, masasave mo na siya directly to the reference manager or the reference software. Okay? So apart from that, within the desktop app, yung reference manager or yung Zotero desktop app, you can actually install yung Word integration or yung Mendeley site na plugin. What this will do is it will add an app or a plugin to your word processing software. So most of the time that would be Word, okay, or Microsoft Word. So mas seamless yung magiging pag sa site nyo at pag-perform ng bibliographies or reference tables. Okay? So, just a general flow of how I typically do referencing with both platforms. Here's what I call a flow chart of how it works. Okay? So, let's say may nakita kang reference. Sorry, I'll use my laser pointer. Let's say may nakita kang reference sa iyong browser. Okay? Doon sa browser mo, you can use the Mendeley Web Importer, yung plugin na nandun sa link na sinend ko, to import that reference into a cloud associated with your account. Okay? So for both the platforms, kailangan sana ng account. So if kaka-install niya lang but you don't have an account yet, gawa na kayo ng account. Okay? Ayun. So within that cloud, you can access the reference list that you made sa mendeley.com, or you can directly see yung mga references na nakuha nyo sa reference manager or yung desktop app na meron kayo. So how do you do that? If hindi pa siya nag-a-appear, you can press a button na mukhang parang recycling na logo. This is for the synchronization of your reference manager. So kung may reference manager kayo at kaka-import nyo lang ng reference into the cloud, by clicking the sync button, your reference manager will retrieve the references from the cloud and then mag-a-appear na siya dyan. Okay? So, what can you do with the reference manager? You can directly cite whatever is in the reference manager onto a word processor. That would be your word plugin. And produce a bibliography. Okay? Ang advantage nun, alphabetize na siya. It's in the style that you want. And because it's a plugin, you can actually change the style when you need to. Okay? Later, i-demonstrate ko yun. Okay? So, I guess since Mendeley yung una kong pinakita, then I will show the flow for Mendeley. Okay? So let's take a look at it. I don't have the function to share my entire screen, so I'll be jumping around the programs, ha. So let me jump to the other platform. Okay. So let's say nabuksan niyo na yung reference manager. I hope we're on the same page. Ganito dapat yung magiging itsura ng reference manager nyo. Meron siyang list of the references that you've added. If not yet, later let's try one. Mag-add tayo ng isang reference. You'll see a tab here containing all of your collections. Mga folders yan where you separate references into groups. You have parang file explorer to sa Windows or sa Mac. Okay, where you can access all the references you have, what you've recently added para hindi nyo malimutan. If you have the PDF uploaded to the reference manager, then you can see what you've recently read, mga favorites, may mga babalikan nyo na references. You can also input your own publications. So if you wish to include it to the database, no, so that other people can easily retrieve it. Okay? And also, may feature din siya. If, for example, dati na-cite nyo na siya, pero nalimutan nyo, tas ni-retrieve nyo ulit yung reference na yon, you can actually look at mga duplicates dito. Okay? So dito sa duplicates tab, you can see all of these. I haven't cleaned them up yet, of duplicate references. No? Yun. So yun yung advantage din. It can create a library, a digital library that can organize itself. Okay? As opposed to creating a list that you have to sift through. Okay? So again, time is precious, di ba? So dapat organize na din natin yon based on or our software helps us organize it. Okay? Ayan. And of course, we have yung trash, yung mga stuff na tinanggal na natin. And these won't be available as our reference sa reference library natin. Okay? Ayan. So, usually dito sa Tash, puro ang laman yan, mga references na mali yung input or pag nag-search ako, mali yung nalagay. So, I just throw it away and then I can redo the citation para correct siya. Okay? Ayan. Okay. So, yung all references na to is what you call your library. Okay? Etong library na to, that contains all of the references that you have accumulated from the web, for example. And within all references or itong library mo, you can create collections. Okay? So itong collection na to is parang subdivision, or you're creating folders for each of your references depending on its purpose. Okay? Kasi your library will be only one for your entire account. But your collections can be dependent on yung purpose ng inyong pagsusulat. Okay? So for example, yung ginawa ko dati for a Mendeley demo, I have one collection for that. Okay? Ayan. Okay. Ayan. So, dito sa ating Mendeley demo, I created a folder, but if you haven't made a folder yet, we can do that. So, you can just type here sa new collection, and then I will make Mendeley demo 2. Okay. So, meron na akong bagong folder. Tama ba? Lumabas ba siya? Mendeley demo 2. Ayan. So, ito na yung bagong folder ko. Mendeley demo 2. Okay?
Sorry, sir, naka-mute ka po. Thank you.
Na-mute po ba ako kanina? Sorry.
Yes po.
Ayan. Sorry, again. I made a folder. Okay? I made a folder. And then, yung folder na to has no references yet kasi medyo bago lang siya. So, I will add or populate it with more references. So what can I do here? I can, okay. Sorry. Ayan. So I can either drag or drop a PDF, or I can use, yes, Ma'am Shara.
Yes, sir. Kasi questions just came in, so maybe before we proceed, I'll just shout them out. Yes.
Sige, go lang po.
Okay, so the first question is, can Zotero or Mendeley automatically detect if there are duplications in your references?
Yes, that goes for both platforms. Both Mendeley and Zotero can detect duplications in references.
Okay. And then the next daw po is, will files moved to a folder among the collections be automatically removed from the list of all references?
Okay. No, it won't. If it's removed from your collections, it is still part of all references, or what you call the library. Okay.
Thank you po.
But it will be filed here sa normally kasi sa dating type or sa dating reference manager. Meron pa siyang isa pang um, tawag na unfiled items. I think nawala na siya dito sa bagong update ng reference manager. Pero sa Zotero, merong what we call unfiled items. Those are references that are not part of a collection. Ayun. Pero so far, if it's removed from a collection, it will still be part of um, the entire library. Okay? Ayun. Okay. So, if we want to add a reference dito sa Mendeley, okay, ang sa alam ko, dapat pwede tayo magdagdag manually. Pero that is something na nawala sa update. So, I will show you how to do it through the Mendeley web importer. Okay? So, I'll switch over to my browser. Okay? So, I have here, okay, hopefully nakikita na. I have here a journal article. Um, Fun fact, yesterday when I was meeting with my MS teacher, he asked, what was the most cited journal article of all time? It turns out it's this one. Most of the most cited journal articles of all time are methods papers. So here we have a good example of something we want to cite using Mendeley. If you've installed yung ating Mendeley web importer, it should appear as an extension here, which is itong Mendeley web importer. It's a red icon on the upper right corner. I'm using a Chrome browser. So yun yung gagamitin ko for yung purposes of this tutorial. Okay? So I can simply click, no, once I'm on the page of my reference, I'll simply click it. Okay? And it will take time to log in. Okay. Okay, wait lang. I-restart ko yung browser ko kasi based on my experience, I installed this yesterday. No, kasi I switched to Zotero. Pero sometimes it glitches out. So let me try it again. Okay. So magsa-sign in siya. Okay. So yan. Um, once it's signed in, but if you're not signed in, it will prompt you to sign in. It will start to load. Okay. And then mag-a-appear na yung journal article dito. So it says here, protein measurement with the full and phenol reagent. I confirm naman na tama yan. And nakalagay din dito what type of reference you're trying to import. So in this case, it's a journal article. Okay. But you also have the option to import the entire web page as a reference. It will be a different style, di ba? Kasi iba yung type ng um, citation style if you use a web page versus a journal article. But our goal here is the journal article. And Mendeley has detected that it's a journal article. So, what other things can I get? I get the list of authors. Okay, hindi lang niya kukunin yung et al. It will get all of the list of the entire all of the authors of the paper and then yung mga details niya. But additionally, it is also able to retrieve the PDF of the journal article. And that's something na convenient. Kasi pag na-reference niyo na siya, pwede niyo na rin siyang basahin. Or you can read it beforehand before citing it uh, onto your word processors. Okay? So, I will choose the folder that I made. That is Mendeley Demo 2. Okay. And then I will press add. Okay. So pag na-add na siya, it will say here, PDF check and reference check. And then if I go back to my Mendeley web import or my Mendeley reference manager, okay. So as you can see, hindi pa siya nag-a-appear. Okay, dito sa Mendeley Demo 2 na folder natin. So what do? We press the sync button. Ito yung um, mukhang cycle na ating icon. And then it should appear in our Mendeley demo. Tama ba? Nag-appear ba siya? Hmm. Wait lang ah. Dahil sa Mendeley demo 2, na-add ko na siya. Apologies, give me a second. I'm just trying to troubleshoot. Okay. Okay. So it turns out, medyo hindi niya na-import siya. So I'll do that again. I'll show you again what I'm doing. Okay. I will choose Mendeley Demo 2. Yun yung ating folder. I'll press add. It will take its time. And then, dapat na-add na siya. So let's go to the reference manager. And then yan, nag-appear na siya. Okay, finally. This is turning out to be somewhat biased towards Zotero kasi as you can see, depending on computing power and well, kung gaano ka well updated yung Mendeley, there are some glitches. That's why I switched to Zotero. Pero again, I'm not being paid to say anything naman. Okay? So, I have now my reference here. Okay? And then when you click the reference, mag-a-appear dito yung ating info. Okay? So, what else can you see dito sa info apart from the title, the authors, as well as yung title or kung saan yung journal niya. You can also retrieve yung date accessed. So that is today. Okay? Kasi some citation styles require you to input kung kailan nyo in-access yung certain reference. You can also find yung digital object identifier or yung DOI. dito. Okay. And you are free to edit all of these depending on some errors you might see. So for example, ang napansin ko dito is lahat ng mga authors mo ay naka all caps. You can actually modify this. Kaya ginawa kong flowery na lang na sentence case so that mas proper yung ating referencing or yung citation. Okay? Ayan. Nakalagay din dito yung date as well as year and what pages you accessed. Kung ano yung volume and issue. Okay? Because our referencing management software already has a database of all of this. Okay? So, mas madali na niya ma-access mga um, yung mga citation information for it. Okay? So, let's try another one and hopefully hindi na siya magka-error ngayon. Let's go get a book naman. Let's try here. Okay. So, one place I can look for um one place I can look for references that are books is itong WorldCat na website. I just searched here a book by Brewis, yung favorite book namin for organic chemistry, itong organic chemistry na textbook. And then, I'll try citing a book naman in this case. So, I'll press my web importer. Okay. It didn't appear. Give me a second. Okay. So it's signing it in again. Okay. There we go. So, it detected yung ating book. Okay. And detected two types of references on the page. So, sometimes it will extract information from other parts of the page. So um, there could be some excess references that might appear here in the list of what you want to import. So I'll choose the correct one. It's the organic chemistry book was only written by Brewis, not these other uh, authors. So I'll choose this one. And I'll input it into my Mendeley demo 2. Press add. And then the reference has been added. In this case, it doesn't have the PDF available because this is a book. Okay, so if it attempted to download the book, it would be too large of a file size. So now let's go to our reference manager. And then, if it hasn't appeared yet, let's try syncing. Okay, so it didn't appear again. Okay, wait lang ah. Okay. And then there it appeared. Okay. So, um, so let me show you what it looks like sa reference manager natin. Mendeley reference manager. And it's here now. Okay. So if I click it, the book appeared. Here's the title. Okay. And then the author. Okay. Okay. So it says here na yung reference natin is a journal article, but it's a book, 'di ba? So I will change this to book. Okay. And then it also retrieves other identifiers such as yung ISBN. Okay. And so now that I've shown you two types of references and how to import them onto Renderly Reference Manager, barring some trouble. Okay. I think yung um, web importer nila is needing some updates. Okay. Let's now try to apply it to citing our references on a word processor. Okay. Ayan. So I'll go to my word processor. Which I have open, which is Microsoft Word. There's written here a filler text. Okay. So you have your title, you have the authors, and you have the body text. And then at the end of the body text, you'll probably add your references. Okay. So you will have installed yung ating Mendeley site, which is a plugin for Word. So if you haven't installed it, I'll show you how. Okay. So dito siya sa Mendeley Reference Manager natin na desktop app. Tapos if you go to Tools, install Mendeley site for Microsoft Word, it should redirect you to a web page. Okay? To install Mendeley site. Okay? So feel free to take the time to install it while I show you how it works. Okay? Okay. So let's go to my word processor again and show you how I will be citing using the Mendeley site plugin. Okay? Ayan. So, yung Mendeley site plugin natin will be located dito sa References tab. Okay? So, if you started sa home, nandito siya sa References tab. Then at the end of the ribbon, it should appear as Mendeley site. Okay? Ayan. If you click Mendeley site, lalabas dito yung aking list of all references. Okay? I can um, look for the folder that I'm using, Mendeley Demo. Si Mendeley Demo 2, hindi pa siya nag-appear. Okay? You'll want to press Update from Library dito sa 3 dots na options so that masisynchronize niya yung nasa database. Okay? So again, let's look for the folder Mendeley Demo 2. Okay? So as you can see here, lumabas yung ating dalawang references, organic chemistry at itong protein measurement na journal article. So let's say, after a sentence, I'll want to cite, okay, itong organic chemistry. I'll want to add that. I'll click the check mark, and then I will add insert one citation. Okay? Ayan. So, mag-a-appear siya as a citation here. Okay? Bruce 2016. Okay? Let me add another one. All nitrates are soluble. I'll add this reference naman at the end. Insert one citation. And then yeah, ito na si Lowry et al. So, parang magic, di ba? It already did it for you. Let's say I want to add another citation. Di ba? Sometimes we have one sentence and then or one paragraph and we want to cite multiple authors. I can actually edit it. Okay. By adding another citation. Okay, wait lang ha. If I want to add another citation, I can press another check mark on the citation I want to add, then press Save Changes. Then it should add Brewis 2016, Lowry et al. And then yun na yung ating dalawang references. Okay? Ayan. Now, if let's say, tapos na ako magsulat, okay, then I will add my bibliography. Okay? So how do I add my bibliography for the Mendeley site app? I will go to the options here, itong three dots. Then I will press Insert Bibliography. Okay? It will prompt you that the bibliography will be inserted at my cursor location. So that's here. So I will press Continue. And then mag-a-appear na yung citation ko. Okay? Yeah. So it does this automatically. It does this with alphabetical arrangement. It also considers multiple author names that are the same, multiple author names that are the same, plus they published in the same year. No? Pina-factor in niya din yun. Okay? It's advanced in that manner. Okay, so what else can we do? No? We can also change the citation style within our word processor. So for example, I want to change, I will press here dito sa aking citation settings. Instead of using APA na 7th edition, which we're most familiar with, let's say I want to change it to Nature. Okay. I'll press Update Citation Style. And then all my citations, as well as all of my references, have been updated to the Nature citation style. So this is good, no? If in some cases, biglang sinabi nung journal, or nalimutan mo na yung journal na isasubmit nyo is Nature, naka-APA lahat ng citations mo, you can quickly change it. Or if you want to try submitting to
Tapos sino yung author?
two different types of journals, di ba? Yan. So, yun yung advantage nun. Okay? Yun yung advantage ng ating Mendeley na program. Okay. So, what else can we do? Let's say, mag-add na tayo ng isa pang citation after we've already put our references. It will auto-update it. Okay? So let's say this is a sentence. And then I will add another citation. Let's say I don't want to add it from Mendeley demo 2. I'll add from my other Mendeley demo. Let's try this one. Smith R. And then I will add one citation. Automatic niyang ina-update. So as you can see, Smith R has been added sa ating references. Let's add another one. Sentence 2 is good. Ganon. If I add something, let's say, let's start with letter D, si das, C. I will add one citation. Okay. Okay. So, in-add na siya dito sa ating references. But yung citation style kasi ni Nature is yung order of references is by which comes first sa ating pagsasite. Si APA naman alphabetical. Okay, so if I go back to APA citation style, it should reorder our reference table to be alphabetical. Okay? So, yun nga, may onting disclaimer din dito. If you want to maximize the functions of a reference management software, the best thing to do is to start using it as soon as you start writing. Kasi kung gawin niyo siya sa dulo na ng study ninyo, medyo mahihirapan kayong balik-balikan yung mga references ninyo. Okay? So, it's good now that you know how to use it para pagdating na dun sa pag-write or pagsusulat ng mga papers nyo, alam niyo na agad, nagsistart na kayo mag-collect ng references and using the citation tools so that it will be easily updated at mas convenient. Okay? Ayun. So, ano pa bang ma-add ko dito? Okay? So for Mendeley, yun yung general na workflow ko. Pag meron akong is either write in APA format or in nature, etc. Okay? Ayan. So I guess medyo at the halfway point na tayo ng ating time. So I will jump now to the Zotero platform. Unless may questions po sa Mendeley platform that I can answer before you move to Zotero. Okay. A participant asks, is it possible to upload PDFs of articles that have been sent to you outside or having gotten it from a website? Yes, you can. Okay, so let me try to demonstrate that now. I'm not sure if I have an article I can download right now. Let me see. Okay. It's trying to download now, but you can actually input. Sige, I'll go to my reference manager so I can show you. You can actually input PDFs. Okay. Okay. So, I can add files from computer dito sa add new. Okay. So, dito sa may malapit sa Mendeley Reference Manager at the top left, you can add new files from computer. Okay. So, let's say I'll go through my desktop. Tingnan ko nga kung meron ako dito. I think nagda-download pa siya. So, tingnan ko. Wait lang. Here I have one sa desktop. I'll put it on my desktop. Sige. I'll show you how to add via this function. Add new files from computer. I'm not sure kung makikita niyo yung file explorer ko kasi I'm only sharing the reference manager. But on my desktop, I have this paper that I will add to Mendeley demo 2. Okay. I'll press open and it's now uploading the file. And then, ayan. Okay. So if you downloaded it directly from the website, no, may metadata na rin yon. Okay, that it will input the information for you. So dito, I downloaded the paper about integrin activation by Simons P. And then I uploaded the PDF. Okay, and it directly extracted the information from the PDF. Okay, but again, yung pag-extract niya ng information will depend on where you got the PDF. If it has been processed na, it might not appear properly. Okay? Yes po, Ma'am Shara.
Ayan. So, my question daw po, is it possible to upload PDFs or articles that have been sent to you outside of having gotten it from a website? I think they're referring to official websites.
Okay.
So is it
Yes.
still possible to upload?
Yes, you can, but hindi magfa-function properly yung automatic retrieval of its metadata. Okay? So you can upload, let's say, a random PDF. na hindi nakuha from a journal article or medyo obscure or it's a draft of someone else's manuscript, hindi niya ma-reference siya properly. Kasi most of the websites have a tag metadata. But you can upload it. Okay? And the advantage of uploading it nga is you can actually read it. Okay? So I think you can press read here sa ating info and you can read the paper. Okay? Um, again, barring its slowness. Pero here, you can actually start reading. Okay? Um, which is good. It led me to the next thing I can show you about Mendeley, which is you can actually read PDFs on Mendeley. So if you've uploaded a PDF of the reference that you are working on, you can view the PDF. You don't need Acrobat anymore, and then you can highlight then some points that you want to remember. Ayan. And it makes it much easier to start reading and start citing. Okay? Ayun. So yun din yung mga advantages of Mendeley. Okay? If we go back, I think we can go back. Library. Okay. And then Mendeley demo 2. Other questions pa ba? Okay. So I think you can still ask about Mendeley later. I'm open naman to questions, but I think we can move on to Zotero. Okay. So that we maximize the time as well. Okay. So, ano yung difference ng Mendeley sa Zotero? Not much. It's essentially the same. The only difference is based on my experience and based on what you've seen sa earlier experience ko, it's much more seamless. But the same components are there. You have a reference that you'll get from the internet. Okay. Or pwedeng PDF or even a website. Okay. And then you use the Zotero connector, which is an extension of your browser, to import that reference to the cloud associated with your account. Okay. And this syncs with zotero.org, which is a website you can also access the library that you've accumulated. Okay. Then you have the Zotero desktop app that you have installed. And then it also has its own sync button. But for Zotero, I use this very rarely kasi very automatic siya. Then you can cite and then input it into your word processor. That includes the Word plugin, the Google Docs, as well as I think LibreOffice pa din ang Zotero. Okay, so if you're not using Word or wish to use free Word alternatives. Okay, so let's try that. I'll show you muna yung ating desktop app and its layout. Okay, so sa Zotero naman, you can see it's the same. Okay, it's actually the same. You have your sidebar having a library. It's called My Library here. Ito yung ano ba yung tawag sa Mendeley? You called it all references sa Mendeley. Dito sa Zotero, My Library na siya. Okay? And then you can create your own collections. So if I want to create a collection, I'll just press New Collection. And I'll say Zotero Demo 2. Yeah. Okay, but I already have some references here in my Zotero demo. But dito sa Zotero Demo 2, I have another folder na walang laman. Okay? I have my publications. I don't have any publications. But you can also see duplicate items here. Okay? So, ito I intentionally duplicated this to show you na your Zotero can also detect duplicate items. Okay? Okay. May question dito. Can either be used in Pages or yung Mac? That I haven't tried. Part of it because I don't have a Mac system. I'm using Windows right now. Pero um, let me know if some of you may try using it sa Mac or yung Pages na app. Okay, but so far I've only tested it sa Google Docs and Windows. Will an issue occur if the PC or laptop already has a citation application, for example, EndNote, and subsequently installs Mendeley and Zotero? That I'm not sure. Partially because I don't have EndNote. I can't afford it. No, I don't have EndNote itself. But having both of them, Mendeley and Zotero, has no issues naman for me. Kasi I recently installed both of them in my platform. I don't know kung Mendeley has been reacting this way because of Zotero. Pero so far, both of them have not reacted naman with each other. Okay? Ayan. So you have duplicate items. You also have unfiled items. This was in the older Mendeley, but nandito pa rin sa Zotero. So, for example, itong library guides, which is given by Zotero as a parang default citation, is part of my unfiled items, which means it is not part of a collection in my library. And then I have trash, which are stuff na duplicates that I removed, some papers that I will not be going back to, or wrong citations that I remedied by modifying a metadata. Okay? Okay. So in the same manner, I will do my workflow where I show you how to import onto Zotero. Okay, all the ways you can import into Zotero, and then how to manage the references. Okay, yeah. So I will go to my okay. I will go to my browser. Okay, and then I'll go back to this page. Okay, so pag na-install niya na yung Zotero connector, it will appear as an icon here. Okay. If it's not on a web page that it recognizes as a journal or as a book, it will appear as the Zotero logo, yung letter Z. But if it recognizes that the reference is a journal article or a book, it will change its icon according to the reference. Okay. So now that I have Zotero, the desktop app open, I will now press my Zotero extension button. Okay. And then automatically it will start saving the reference. It has my current folder that that naka-open doon sa desktop app ko as the selected folder, and then it will save it. Now if I go back to my Zotero desktop app, it should appear here. Okay? Ayan. No issues there. Okay? So again, not an ad for Zotero, pero it's been cooperative right now. Okay, so here, once I have my my reference, it will also automatically download a PDF or its PDF if it's available. So you can click this PDF icon here. Okay, itong nasa pinaka right, and then you can view the paper. Okay, so it's quite an old paper. Ayan. And then if I go back to the Zotero Demo 2 folder here, you'll see that it becomes a tab, yung ating PDF. So I can go back to it, no? Which is an advantage for it. So ano pa mga pwede natin gawin dito? I can edit the title. Okay, let's say that yung citation style ko requires that it's in sentence case. I will right-click the title. I will press sentence case, and then na-correct na yung title ko into the correct capitalization. Okay? Ayan. Then you have mga ibang identifiers such as DOI, yung URL of the article, date accessed. So in the same manner, just like Mendeley, makukuha niya rin yung mga ganitong metadata. Okay? Let's try another one. I'll go get a book. So I'll go back to my WorldCat. I'll close my Mendeley. That doesn't want to close. So I'll go to a different book na lang. You can also go to, sige, let me search for Lewis. Okay. Okay. So, Mendeley doesn't seem to want to close. So I'll just go and download or use Zotero over it. So I'll click my Zotero na icon. Now it's in the form of a book because if it's detected that the reference that I want to obtain is a book. So I'll click that and then it will download it onto Zotero Demo 2 folder. So let's check kung tama yung nakuha niya. Stop share. I'll change to my folder. And then there we go. It's here. Okay. So very easy. Very, very easy. Okay. So once it's here, let's try another one. One last para medyo may variety naman tayo. I'll go to an Amazon web page here. Okay. So another way you can download book or you can reference books is if you find the Amazon page for that book. And then if you click the Zotero, it will take the reference as well. Okay. So I think this one took some time. Okay. Ayan. So now let's see if lumabas siya sa ating Zotero. Okay. So it appeared. Okay. Ayan. So you have the title, the creator has been detected as well, the date of publication and year, date added. You can also customize this depending on what you want na columns. You can arrange it if you are ang pinaka column na kinikip ko dito is date added kasi depending on kung anong time ko siya inad, yun yung yun yung last na babasahin ko, for example. Ayan. Okay? So what are other ways to import? You can also add PDFs. So let's try that. Okay? So if I click here itong add attachment, tama ba? Add advanced search. Okay. If I click, okay, dito sa add na button, stored copy of file, and then I go to my desktop, and then I'll look for the paper that I had, itong PDF na sinasabi, na ginagamit ko nung sa Mendeley. I'll upload it, and then, ayan. So it seems na hindi niya na-detect kung ano siya. Oh, it took a while, but it did. So now it has it. Okay? So you can also upload PDFs the same way sa Mendeley, and it will automatically search its metadata to find out yung title, yung kanyang mga authors, as well as all its other stuff, including yung abstract nga din kasama. Okay? Ayun. So that you have a copy of its reference. You also have yung kanyang PDF na article. Okay? So yan, you can access it that way. Okay. So now that you have um, yung sa reference mo dito, let's now try using yung citation. Okay? So before that, i-install niyo muna yung um, Zotero na web or Word application. Okay? So dito siya sa I'm not mistaken, dapat dun siya sa ano. Okay. Ayun. Hindi siya from the desktop app directly. Yes, Ma'am Shara?
Sir, we have two questions po
Sige, sige.
on the citations. The first is, do you need to also have the software to edit someone else's file with Mendeley or Zotero citations? And do you share their library of citations or add your own citations from your own library? And then would the list of references also update? So medyo marami siyang tanong.
Okay, do you also need to have the software to edit someone else's file with Mendeley or Zotero citations? The answer is yes. You also need to have the software to edit someone else's file. Okay? Kasi only Zotero can detect whether the file has been updated or yung metadata niya or yung parang what do you call that? Yung application data niya doon sa word processor mo is associated with Zotero or Mendeley. So you have to have the programs to edit someone else's file that way. Okay? When you do so, do you also share the library of citations or add your citations from your own library? From what I know is that you also share their library of citations. Pero as for the details of how that works, I haven't been able to try it out. Um, if you do so, would the list of references also update? Uh, I'm not sure. Okay? If in-update mo kasi siya sa Google Docs, well, part of it is hindi ko pa actually na-try yung collaborative na aspect ng Zotero. Most of it has just been parang personal. Okay? So, do explore it when you can if yung Zotero platform between two people will function properly. Okay? Another question is, can Zotero detect news articles online and automatically cite and get metadata? We can try that actually. So let me look up a news article. Pero sa alam ko you can. Okay, so let's say uh, ayun. Okay. So let me show you what I have on my screen right now. I have a news article on my screen. Okay. And then I'll try pressing save to Zotero. And tingnan natin kung ano yung magiging metadata niya. Pero from what I recall, if it doesn't detect it as a news article, it will detect it as a web page. And then you'll have to manually change it to a news article. But it may be able to get the author data. So let's see. Okay. Okay. So it doesn't seem to have gotten the article's author. Okay. And it detected it as a web page, but you can change it into a news article. So newspaper article. Okay. However, you'll have to input your author manually. So if I go back to the author, then I'll input here. I'll just copy paste it onto my Zotero. Okay. Ayan. So yan na yung author ko dyan. Okay. So that's one way you can input news articles. Pero in some cases, it cannot do it automatically. It takes some manipulation. Okay? So as I was saying about yung sa sa word plugin natin, it will prompt you to install the word plugin when you install the Zotero desktop na na application, no? So assuming that you already have Word installed, when you start to install itong si Zotero, it will ask you, would you like to also install the Word plugin? Okay, so that's one way you could install the Word plugin for Zotero. Okay, ayan. So let us take a look at how to cite with Zotero. Okay, so let me just remove all of the stuff that I did with Mendeley because it won't be compatible with Zotero. Okay, ayan. Okay, so pag na-install na yung Zotero um, na Word plugin, you will see Zotero here sa upper na ribbon as its own tab. Okay? So ito, si Zotero. And then you have the option to add or edit a citation, add or edit bibliography. Okay? So let's say I have this and I wanted to add a reference here. Add or edit citation. Okay? It will prompt you um, and ask you what type of citation do you want. Okay? Will it be APA 7th edition or a different citation style? Um, it will ask you if you want to store the citation as fields or as bookmarks. Okay. So depending on the purpose, you can either choose. Okay, but I just keep it as fields, being recommended. And automatically update citations. Since this is a small document, okay lang yan. Pero if you have a big document, medyo recommended siya na naka-off. Okay, so I'll press OK. Okay. Now, it will start in asking for an input, and there you can type the author. So let's say etong si Lowry, which was yung journal article that I added. Okay, I'll just click that, and then Lowry is there. Let me add Brewis. Okay, so I can choose between these two, this one in particular. And when you're done, and you want to add the citation onto your sentence, just press enter. Okay? So yan, na-add na si Brewis and Lowry sa ating first sentence. So let's try that again. I'll add naman another. Let's say, sino ba? Yung kanina was, if I go back to my Zotero, Simons. So ito si Simons. Okay. I have a duplicate, pero later I can clean that up naman. So I'll just choose one of them. And then I'll add. Press enter. Okay? So yan. Na-cite na siya via APA. Let me add a reference. Okay? So let me add my bibliography. So I'll just press add or edit bibliography. And then, ilalagay na siya. Okay? So yan na yung APA format for our citation. Okay? If I add another one, so let's say sentence 2. Yes, Ma'am Shara.
Sir, they also are asking if these can also be used for Google Docs, like the plugins. Kasi so far, di ba, we're demonstrating it on MS Office. So
Yep.
can these also be used in Google Docs?
Yes, it can. I think we can try it. Sige. I'll show how to use it sa Google Docs. Pero that's something I haven't explored that often. Pero let's see kung paano siya gawin. Okay?
And then may comment po, sir, na parang di daw nila nakikita ng yung iba yung tabs or windows.
Yes, that is a problem. Pero ang nakikita naman ngayon is yung sa Word, di ba?
Word, yes po. So kita
Okay.
naman po at the moment in everything.
Okay.
Thank you, sir.
Sige, sige. Yung for the ano ba? I won't be able to show kasi the entire screen. It's something Um, I think sa Zoom settings siya nawala. Okay. Pero I'll show Google Docs, sige, after I do this sa Word. Okay. Ayan. So, let's say I add another sentence. Okay. Okay. And then I'll add another reference. So, let's say gusto ko i-add si... So, you might want to search or you might want to go back to the app pero hindi ko siya mapakita ngayon. Tinitingnan ko yung pangalan ng creator or if you remember the title. Let's say i-type ko si Man's Search for Meaning, yung isang book na inad ko by Frankel. I just click that and then press enter. And then lalabas na siya. Okay? And since naka-enable yung automatic update, lumabas siya agad dito. Okay? Okay. So, just like with Mendeley, you can also update the citation style. Okay? You can also update the citation style as you're working. So let's say instead of submitting to yung APA cited na APA style na journal, you want to submit it to Nature. Then let's go to document preferences here. And then okay, I think ito yung hindi lumalabas na window, no? So let me try to show you how it looks like. Ayan. Okay. So, ito rin yung lumalabas na window when I start to press add or edit citation. It asks for the citation style. It asks for the language of the citation. Asks to store it as fields or bookmarks. Or, and asks if you want to automatically update the citations. Okay? So, dito naman, I want to change to nature. So, I'll press OK. The window closed, so I'll reshare my screen and you just have to trust me na nag-update siya. Ayan. So, yan na yung itsura ng ating citation. Okay? So, it's been changed to nature. Okay? And it did so automatically. So, dito siya sa document preferences. Tapos, pag kinlik nyo yan, lalabas yung prompt. And then you can change the citation style. Okay? Ayan. So, let me open up a Google Docs at tingnan natin how to do it sa Google Docs naman. Kasi most of you might be using Google Docs. But just to let you know, you try it. Ay, tama ba? Sige, I'll just look for the Google Docs muna. I'll make a Google Docs. Okay, let me zoom in. Okay, so let me share my screen just to show you how it looks like sa Google Docs. Okay. So sa Google Docs, assuming that you also install the desktop app, it will automatically install. Yes, Ma'am Shara?
Sorry, sir. Before we go further into the Google Docs demonstration, there is a question here that when you do citations, will it not be affected if we delete some citations while writing or editing the paper? So they had an experience before with reference manager and EndNote where they needed to where they ended up manually writing the references after the final edits.
Okay, okay. If we delete some citations while writing and or editing the paper. Um, hmm. I'm not sure with Zotero, pero let's see. Okay. Okay. I'll share my screen back sa Word. Sige, wait lang. I'll share na lang sa Zotero. And then what I'll do is I will try to remove itong man search for meaning and then move item to trash. Okay. Now let's see what happens when we go back to the document. So it still appears. Nandyan pa rin naman siya. Pero if I press refresh, okay. So it's still there. No? Now I'm not sure lang if it will be updatable if we press the other edit citation. It's still there naman. Uh-oh. So I think it does keep it naman if we delete the citation. By deleting the citation, is it in the reference manager? Can I ask a question to the participant as well? Do you mean by deleting it from the reference manager or deleting it doon sa study itself or doon sa body text pala, sorry. Deleting the citation from the body text. Deleting from the body of the article. Okay. So if we delete here, okay, and then we press refresh, it should disappear. Yeah. So automatic din yung, well, once you refresh naman, if hindi siya nag-update automatically, then pressing refresh will detect all of the citations that you've placed, and then all of the citations that you've placed and the ones that have been removed will also be removed doon sa references mo. So it also does this in a parang semi-automatic way. So yun. So that's how it works kapag may tatanggalin ka na citation. Will it automatically arrange the references? Yes, it should. So if it's APA style, for example, na kailangan alphabetical siya, when you press refresh, the entire reference list will update, as well as if you removed something that is in between the alphabetization, then it will also rearrange the alphabetization. In the case of um, the nature style na citation format, it will also renumber everything, including the citations and the reference table. So ang important dito is in both the body text as well as the references table, dapat Zotero yung naglagay nun. If you manually placed it won't update it for you. Ayan. For the questions about the recording, I think si Ma'am Shara po yung mag-answer niyan. Ayan. Sige po. Okay, so let's go to yung sa Google Docs para mapakita ko rin sa Google Docs kasi most of you also use Google Docs. If there are no other questions. Okay, so if you install Zotero on the desktop app, it may also ask you if you want to install yung Google Docs na plugin. That or you'll have to look for the extension itself sa plugins or App Store dito. Pero I think Zotero was automatically added here. So it's part of the desktop app. Okay? So dito naman sa Zotero for the Google Docs, similar lang siya. It actually has the same buttons. You can add or edit a citation. You can add or edit the bibliography. Preferences, refresh, switch word processors if you're using a different word processor. And if you have citations that you want not associated with Zotero, then just press unlink citations. So let's say again, okay. So I think it prompted me to sign in. So give me a second. I will sign in. Okay. Authorized na siya. So let's go back and I will show you a prompt that it gave me. So may lumabas na window dito after I pressed add or edit citation and then it asked for the same thing. Okay? So it asked me what citation style I want to use. Let's say gusto ko ng APA. And then it asked me if I want to automatically update citations as I add them. And then I press OK. So yun naman yung okay. Tapos nag-close yung window. So I'll show you the Word, the Google Docs. Okay. So I think, okay. So may lalabas din dapat na input field. Unfortunately, it's a separate na window, so I cannot show you right now. Okay. Pero again, what I'm just doing is I'm typing the reference that I want to add. So si Folin Phenol or si Lowry et al. And then I'll just press enter. And then mag-update dapat siya. Okay? So yan. Na-add na rin si Lowry et al. Let's say I want to add Brewis. Other edit citation. It will also ask again, may prompt. I'm not sure if you could see it, pero it's in a separate window kasi. I will type, sino ba? Brewis. And then I'll press enter. And then it should update as well. Okay. Ayan. So that would be for the citations. And then I will add a reference table. So Zotero, other edit bibliography. And then it should take its time, but it's here. Ayan. Okay. Sige. Now I'll answer this question muna. Sir, just wondering, can we import or export libraries between Mendeley and Zotero? I've been using Mendeley and have many folders in my library that I need for next papers. How can I use all these if I want to switch to Zotero? Like earlier, marami na iwan na reference because of Mendeley. If you were in my shoes, what would you do? This is possible. I think part of what Zotero has done is made it easier for you to transfer between the two. That is something I haven't explored though. Paano kaya? I think Zotero has a function. Let me search for it. Zotero has a function for you to import your Mendeley library. There we go. So I went to File, I went to Import, and then a window popped up. I'm not sure if you could see it. A window popped up here. This is what happened. A window popped up. It said Import. Where do you want to import from? Mendeley Reference Manager. Online import. So you can actually do that. I think it will ask you for your Mendeley credentials. And then it will download everything from Mendeley and place it in your Zotero. Vice versa, that I'm not sure yet. Kasi I think Mendeley is more proprietary, kaya hindi sila masyadong open doon. Ayun. So this is how to import from Mendeley to Zotero. Okay? Ayun. So I guess some of you have been using Mendeley for a while now, but haven't gone or done the switch to Zotero because you don't know how yet. Pero you can easily do it and switch around. No, I'm just not sure from Zotero back to Mendeley. Pero based on my experience, bakit? Diba? Why? O sige. So, going back to sa Google Docs natin, ayan. You can add more references. You can even change the reference style. So, you can just press Zotero, Document Preferences, and then a window should appear that I cannot show you right now. I'm going to switch. Yan. And then ito yung lalabas. And let's say I want to change, let's try something else. MLA, Modern Language Association. Then I'll press OK. The window closed. So I'll go back to my Google Docs. And there it is. Okay, in MLA. Okay. So pag MLA pala, walang year. Ganun pala yan. Okay. So yan. That's for changing the reference styles. Okay. Ayan. Sige. Let me show you one more thing na feature ng Zotero. You can actually use the DOI or the ISBN to search for a certain reference. So let's say I have this paper or you have a paper na ang citation lang niya ay DOI nakalagay. You can actually copy the DOI link, go back to your Zotero na um, reference manager, and then you can press this magic wand, add items by identifier, and then you can paste the identifier. It accepts ISBN, DOI, PubMed ID, ArcScive ID, and other bib codes to add to your library. So I'll press enter. If it's green, it detected it. And now, may input na rin yung reference. Okay? If available yung PDF niya, it will automatically download it for you as well. Ayan. Ano pa ba? If you have ISBN, so I'll go and switch to my browser again. Let's say this man search for meaning na tinanggal ko. I can look at its ISBN. Okay. Andito siya. ISBN 10 or ISBN 13. Either is okay. I'll copy it. I'll go back to my Zotero. And then I will add that. Okay. So I'll press enter. And then lalabas din yung article, yung book in this case. Okay? So, yun yung medyo magandang function ni Zotero. You can actually get the references from identifiers lang just by searching. It has its own database kasi to look for all those. Okay? Ayan. Okay. Okay. So, let's say, sige, one last lang siguro. Let's say you have a platform that doesn't have yung plugin installed for Word or for Google Docs. You can actually copy paste the reference as a formatted citation. So, for example, I have here Man Search for Meaning, itong si Frankel et al. Na book. And I want to cite it without using, or kunyari, I'm using a word processor na walang plugin installed. I can simply copy and paste it, Control C, and then go to my word processor. For example, yung word ko. And then I can paste it as a separate na reference. Ay, sorry. Na-copy ko yung yung Copy, then paste. Hindi siya nakakopy. Okay. The other way to do this is to drag and drop. Okay. So you can simply drag from the other application onto your word processor, tapos makakopy na rin yung reference niya. Nag-lag siya. Ayan. So nag-appear na siya dito. Sorry I couldn't show the entire screen kasi nga I don't have that functionality right now or yung entire desktop ko. Pero you can do this. This is manual. Ang difficulty nito is it won't be automatically updated. So only use this if you have a word processor that doesn't support nga Mendeley or Zotero. But if you're using, for example, LaTeX or LaTeX um, na format, you can also export it as bibtext or bibtext, and that will also be accepted by your document compiler. Okay. So pwede rin siya for both Mendeley and Zotero. Okay? Ayun. So, with that, I'll now be accepting questions more. And if you want me to demonstrate other things, feel free to ask. Ayun. I'd also like to ask if some of you have already been able to try yung paggamit ng um, Mendeley or Zotero. Or can I ask kung Zotero or Mendeley yung ginagamit niya right now? Based on what you've seen now, ano ang mas gagamitin niyo? Okay. So, ayun. Okay. So, sige. I guess we can still try some more ano. Okay. I can still try some more stuff. Okay. May isa nagsabi dito they used Mendeley before but currently ginagamit nila ay Zotero. Okay. So again, yung magiging workflow nito, you just click the importer. If you cannot click the importer, then you can take its DOI, or yung digital object identifier, and then use yung search function doon sa Zotero to look for it. Okay? But in this case, gagamitin ko yung plugin. And then, since it's publicly available yung PDF, ando na siya sa aking folder. And then, if I go to my Zotero na desktop app, okay? So, nag-appear na dito yung aking paper, or yung paper na isa-cite ko. And then, I can arrange it according to date added, year, etc. I can check for duplicate items. Okay? So I can delete some of them if magkaroon ng duplications. Okay? And then for the demo 2, I can also ito yung pinaka-recently kong inad. I can also look at the paper, yung PDF niya, and then I can also read it. Kasi nandun siya sa ating database. Okay? And then, if I want to cite, I will use yung citation plugin doon sa aking Word or sa Google Docs. Okay? So let me go to that. And then, I'll remove this muna. And then I will add Ano ba yung recently na inad ko? Quantitative by Wang et al. Ayan. Press enter and it will automatically update and add my citation. And then once I have my citation done, I can move it around if I want to change yung kanyang style. All you have to do is go to Document Preferences and a window should appear like this, which will ask you to change if you want to change yung style. Let's say APA ulit. I'll press OK. And then it should appear here. Ayan. So yan yung basic workflow. No? So yung common workflow ko is I collect references, start reading if they're relevant. If they're not relevant, I throw them um, onto my or unfile them from my collections. And then after that, I start writing. And then you can do this either for the whole paper or per paragraph. No, it makes it more convenient to do it in either case. Kasi your references will be managed regardless. Okay. Yes, Ma'am Shara.
Hi, sir. There's a question. What do you recommend, Zotero or Mendeley?
Ayun. So based on yung experience natin ngayon, as well as um, yung recent experiences ko in writing using Zotero. Zotero is what I recommend. Um, there's also a mga third-party plugins kasi you can install. I won't I mean, you can ask me if you want me to elaborate further, pero there are third-party plugins you can install which will make it much, much easier pa nga eh. Ano pa ba? Yun. As for Mendeley, actually the purpose why I switched from Zotero to Mendeley was, from Mendeley to Zotero was because medyo napupuno na yung Mendeley na library ko. I could arrange it, but I wanted a fresh start, so I made a Zotero account. Then I thought, parang mas, siya, convenient, mas easier din siya. And it's open source. So, um, if you're a person na mas nagbibili sa open source software, then I think Zotero is better. That also makes it available to be modified to have mga third-party plugins. No? In both of the cases pala, for Zotero and Mendeley, you can upload a citation style if someone has made a code for it. No? So if kunyari may code na for a different citation style, like, I don't know, wala namang specific citation style yung Philippine Journal of Science, mga ganun. Okay? Ayun. So I guess, kung ganun, wrap up na siguro tayo. I think that's what I could demonstrate for today, but I hope that you've learned a lot about Zotero and Mendeley and reference management software and how they could be used. I hope you can bring to your laboratories and research groups the use of reference management software. It makes it much easier to collaborate, and it makes it much better for students, mga apprentices, to know what common papers you're all reading so that you're all on the same page. It makes writing much faster. It makes um, it makes it more convenient for you to create mga publications and other research work. Not only research work, even um, mga news articles, kanon, we could all use a reference management software. So I'll take the time that is given to me and to everyone, so you can ask more questions, if anything. Pero that's all. That's what I could show you all today. And thank you everyone for at least staying to listen.
Ayan, mukhang wala na masyadong questions, sir. Parang sa'yo na sila lahat sa sharing.
Yeah, I hope na tinatry din nila yung software on their own, and maybe as a group try niyo rin gawa ng mga
Yeah, with the
databases ninyo.
collaboration.
Mhm.
Ano pa pala, sir? If they have further questions, can they email you?
Of course, please do provide them my email. It's
Okay, we
apganato.
will.
Ayun, if they have any
So,
further questions, um, ayun, you can email me naman.
so thank you, everyone. Wait lang, parang may nag-pop up. Does this workshop have a certificate of attendance and evaluation? Yes, the answer po
Answer
is
is yes.
yes. So once you fill up the evaluation form, you will be getting a certificate of participation or a certificate of attendance. So we will be showing you the details in a while. Sir Aaron's presentation, the LRC would like to award him with a certificate of appreciation for imparting his valuable knowledge and expertise as lecturer in the online upskilling workshop using Mendeley and Zotero, signed by myself and the Vice Chancellor for Academic Affairs, Dr. Nimia Simbulan. So let's give Sir a hand.
Thank you,
Or like the
everyone.
action
Thank you
button.
rin
Ayan.
to the LRC and Ma'am Shara at the Joe. Ayan. Thank you po.
Thank you po. Thank you, sir. So sana marami po kayong lahat na tutunan from Sir Aaron. So if you want more workshops like these, or if you guys are interested in other LRC events, your evaluation will be really helpful for us. So please fill up the form through tinyurl.com/menzot23eval, or you can scan the QR code for the evaluation form. So I will also be typing the form on the chat box for your reference. So it's tinyurl. Yeah. So it's all shown on screen, or if you have a scanner, you can also use that. Ayan po. So the evaluation form is on the chat box. So if you can go there, you will, as soon as you finish the evaluation form, you will be receiving the certificate of participation. Please use your registered email, so the email you use to register for today's event, so that we can align your evaluation to the registration form. And then for future events in the LRC, we have a collaboration with UP Vector, which is the BS Applied Physics student organization. So they will be holding a guide on physics for UP Manila students on September 20, 11 a.m. at the LRC ADR. Also, please look forward to the LRC Kapihan, which will happen in October. So during midterms, for UP Manila students and employees. So stay tuned for updates. So these are the other services of the UP Manila LRC, like the tutorial program, the summer bridge program, room reservations, and other services. So for the tutorial programs, it is still very active. So to our UP Manila students, if you think that you will need additional assistance or guidance for your studies, you can avail this service online. So all the forms will be found in our Google site. So today's recording can be accessed through our Google site, which is bit.ly/UPMLRC site. We will be uploading this at a future time. So maybe in the next 2 weeks. So you should be able to see that in the Google site. In the meantime, you can also browse our site there are other learning modules or materials that you will find there, and they might be helpful for you. These are the contact details of the UP Manila LRC. If you guys are interested to keep in touch or to follow our events and programs. These are your organizers, the LRC staff, Miss Jo and Sir Das. So they are here with us in the Zoom room doing all the behind the scenes for everyone. And with that, thank you very much, everyone, for attending our workshop. Please remember to evaluate us so that we can know how to further improve the workshops. Once again, we would like to thank our organizers and Sir Aaron Henato for today's workshop. Thank you, everyone. We thank all of you also for actively participating and for your questions, which have helped in the discussion. So we look forward to seeing all of you in future LRC events. Thank you.